Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to Little Much. I am Saide, if you haven't heard that before, and welcome to another Pen Pal with me video. It's been quite a while since I uploaded my last Pen Pal with me video, and I finally feel I have things a little bit together now. So I figured I would do another one, since you seem to be really enjoying these videos. And I hope you enjoy this one as well. As you can hear, we're doing another voiceover video. Actually, I've been getting mixed preferences from you guys. Some of you prefer voiceovers instead of just music, and some of you really prefer just music. So definitely let me hear in the comments what's your preference, and maybe I can do a combination of both if that's something that you really like. But for today we're doing a voiceover video. Either way, I'll try not to ramble too much, because maybe that's the part that people find annoying about voiceover videos. But we'll see how that turns out. Today I'm writing to Isabel. She is a pen pal from Canada, and we've written each other for maybe about 2 years now. And I always really enjoy writing to her. Creating pen pal packages in general actually is one of my favorite activities. Although I have to say I can't always find myself in the mood to do so, if that makes any sense. For me, I really want to be concentrated when I create these letters or packages, because I really want to focus on what I'm doing and write something meaningful. And I don't always have that mood on my days off or in the weekend. So sometimes it can take me a while to get to creating the actual letters or packages. But usually once I get there, I find it very relaxing and it gets me very creative as well. And today I wanted to create something Christmassy, because when this letter arrives at her place in Canada, it will probably be halfway December, so almost Christmas. And I think it's very fun to have something festive at her door at that stage. And I thought I would try something different from what I've done before and use this black paper to write the letter itself. I thought it could be very fun. I once did a black month in my bullet journal, which I've really enjoyed creating at that time. So I thought I would do that for today's letter. But this white gel pen I had was really acting up. I don't know which white gel pens you guys use, because I really struggled with it. So after the first paragraph, I switched to a silver gel pen, which was working the way I wanted to. And I think it's kind of sad because the white really looked better on the black paper, but it was just giving me such a giant headache. I couldn't continue with it. And by the way, I had this different camera angle set up for privacy reasons, because you can't really read my writing here. But I put this camera angle, which is my iPad, on time-lapse mode. And during editing, I found out that when I put it on time-lapse mode, actually 3 hours of footage becomes 30 seconds. So next time I'll have to make sure not to put the iPad on time-lapse mode, but just normal video mode. And if you haven't seen this before, I'm the kind of pen pal who really focuses on the letter itself. I really like the letter. I think it's the best part of a pen pal package. So that's definitely a large portion of what I'm doing. And by the time I finished the letter, actually so much time had passed that the sun was now setting. So I'm very sorry about the lighting and about the blurriness of my camera. It really was getting too dark to film properly, or at least I would have to put up a softbox, and that really doesn't get me in a Christmassy mood. so I didn't want to do that. Also, my boyfriend was home and he would have to sit in very bright lighting. I'm not sure if he would be into that. So I'm sorry about the camera quality. I tried to make the best out of it during editing. We skipped through the letter quite quickly because I really don't want to show you too much of it because it's very private, obviously. So now we have a bit more time to look at the extras I created. And I said I really enjoyed the letter the most out of a pen pal package or gift, which is definitely true. But I also really enjoy the other items that go with it, especially to create something personal or something special. And actually I send my pen pals quite a lot of trial items for my Etsy shop. So I was trying out these memo sheets, which are now up on my Etsy shop if you haven't seen them. And the try-out versions of those as the memo sheets I gifted to my pen pals. Because I think it's a waste to throw all these perfectly fine items away, although they're not really quite the quality I would sell. So yeah, I like to give those to my pen pals, or I use them myself a lot of the time as well. And for my extra package, I always try to create this package in the same theme as the letter itself, so to create one cohesive package, because I think it's very fun to open up a package where both the extras and the letter are in the same style. I'm sure you agree. And actually what I'm doing right now, I came up with because of a question from Isabel. She asked me my favorite places to look for stationery items. And I was telling her I usually buy my stationery from other Etsy sellers at the moment. And then I came up with the idea to create a sort of Etsy showcase with items from my favorite Etsy shops. So I had this like baking paper, but it's an envelope. I'm not sure what the material is called. I had this laying around and I just stuck a lot of stickers from Etsy shops on there. My current favorites are the Mura Kunst Shop, I guess it's called. And I really like Cheyenne Barton. I'm sure a lot of you may know about her. And then I also discovered a Polish Etsy shop I really like. And I just created this sample sheet, which I think is a really fun idea. And I would totally recommend doing this as well with Etsy sellers that you love and you would like to share with your pen pals. So afterwards, I started to fold up my letter, which I always really struggle with because I can't seem to get a perfect fold with letters. I don't know how people do this. And instead of putting it in an envelope, I decided to put a gold bow around it from this gold fabric thing I had laying around because I thought it would be very festive and very cute. And because the package itself became kind of thick, I went with a larger envelope so that it would fit inside. And the only large envelopes I have right now are these white ones, which are not my favorite to use. I like using the craft envelopes. But well, we had to get a better, bigger envelope, so we had to make do with the white. So I really tried extra hard to create something fun from the white envelope to make it really more of a crafty envelope. And I'm sure you'd agree with me, but part of the fun of pen paling is opening up your mailbox and seeing these beautifully decorated envelopes is just so much fun and so much love. I dislike saying the word love because I'm a little weird like that. But for me, it's really a kind of love I feel when I see this envelope that someone put so much work into, created especially for you, and it just gives you such a warm feeling. And I think we can all use warm feelings all the time, not just now, but all the time. So I really tried to give her that feeling as well when she would find this envelope. And actually the items I use for my pen pal letters or packages are mostly scraps I have laying around the house. I'm a weirdo that saves bits of paper from packages or bags from bread or just anything really, just because I think this may come in handy with a pen pal letter someday. And it does! You can see it here. And I also have a subscription to a creative type of magazine, which really helps because there's a lot of beautiful paper in the magazine or beautiful patterns that I just rip out. So that's also a thing she see me use. And that's actually the end almost of this video. I really enjoyed creating this. It took me 3 weeks to find my mood for this, but I'm very happy I could find it in the end. So I hope you enjoyed watching this as well. I hope you got some ideas from it. Let me know if you preferred the voiceover or the music only versions. And I hope to see you in another video. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't checked out my studio vlog, my very first, be sure to do so. So thank you very much, and I will see you next time. Bye bye!